farms to be efficient, you can do it on a small scale and cut costs and make good decisions if you know what you're doing. And so one thing that I like, investing into the production of the food is going to help everybody by increasing the basic knowledge and the resources that we have to help provide food cheaper. And so like have you heard about the Amherst College farm, Book and Plow?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never been there.
Students at Amherst College started an initiative to start a farm on the Amherst College land, and so it's been leased out to two friends of mine, Pete McLean and Tilburn Porter Brown, and they were farmers that were trained in the area, and they're going to be running their own private business. The school is giving them the land, or leasing them the land for cheap or free, and helping them get started with costs, and with the expectation that they'll be selling food at a good price to the Amherst College dining common.
Do you believe that organic food is more nutritious than conventional food, and if so, why would you say that?
That all depends what you mean by more nutrition. I'd say not. I would say there's no difference.
And why?
What I would think you might be concerned with conventional food is whether or not it has pesticides on it.
Right.
But I don't see how the delivery of nutrients from the soil to the plant is any different with organic farming than it is with chemical farming. In fact, I might expect that the organic food would be less nutritious on that basis.
Right.
Yeah, that's my assessment. But I think all kinds of studies have shown that essentially no difference.
A couple of the questions that puzzled me when I was in college was why, if there's a possibility of pursuing agriculture without poisons, without artificial inputs, without those kinds of things that we were feeling were contributing to cancers and bad health, why aren't we pursuing production methodologies that can focus on that? And so it's a very big ship to turn around. It doesn't turn very fast. And so therefore, one of the things that I've come from and now have landed in here at Hampshire for 15, 16 years in a couple weeks was focusing on organic methodologies that can mimic non-commercial applications.
In some ways it's our Western way of thinking, is that we want to break things down into tiny little bits of information that we can study, and that we can study in a statistically significant manner, which is really hard because we're talking about a big interconnected system. We're not talking about individual little pieces, and so if you're just trying to take things on individual little pieces, it's really hard. You have to look at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is, huge feedlots where the animals are crammed together so that they have to be fed antibiotics so they can grow more quickly. You're also, and I mentioned this when I first said, it's an economic system, right? And farmers in this economic system are doing what they need to do, what they feel they need to do to survive and make money. And if you want better food, you need to pay for better food, right? And on all levels. If you want it to taste better, if you want it to be more nutritious, if you want it to be grown in a more humane manner, if you want it to be, less impact on the environment, money has to go in that direction. Right? That's the system we live in, unfortunately. And if the money doesn't flow that way, it doesn't matter what the scientific studies say. Yeah. So in reality, if you want a better food system, you have to demand it, and you have to demand it with your dollars.
And probably the biggest reason why one has to focus on the consumer end of it is that's where change will happen. To have the consumers be active in their participation towards what their demand of their product is what changes the producer diet this end we can't do. So therefore, I feel that there's a lot of hope in the fact that when farmers or when our students leave Hampshire or Mount Holyoke, because you guys also buy shares, that you become aware of how you can be direct consumers. For example, CSA, Community Supported Agriculture Programs, are really good at putting consumers in touch with their producers and asking questions from their producers, their farmers, their people who produce a product, what goes into that and why.
We're trying to get Mount Holyoke to adopt a system where we could get more organic products in our food and in our dining halls. Do you think that this would be beneficial to our community, or do you think it's not a good idea?
I think it's hugely beneficial, and one thing I do, especially with my internship, is focus more on people and being like not just trying to grow and sell locally, but also create a system that is benefiting everyone within the region. So investing now into equipment and the training and the education that's required to grow food sustainably, and investing into jobs in these fields, making it a more realistic career is something that's going to increase food security, and I think especially colleges, because of the nature of because of the money that's brought to colleges and because of the time that students spend there and the summers are off, I think that local food on colleges is going to be really important.